Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Zesty Thoughts with your host, Anabla. Welcome to episode 58. Thank you, everybody, for being so patient. I did have a brief hiatus. My boyfriend and I are long distance, and he did come to visit me. It was kind of a surprise. He literally flew in on a Sunday, and he told me Thursday, a few days before. So I didn't really get much of a heads up. I didn't get to pre-record any episodes. And then obviously while he was here, we were very preoccupied, very busy, going out and doing fun things and exploring. That way we could, enjoy our time together and he could enjoy his vacation. So I had a really, really fun September. I did want to list off some of the stuff that we did, some of the regular spots that he hasn't been here in almost 3 years. So he was like, I need to do this. First up on that list was Trader Joe's. He missed Trader Joe's a lot and had to cop some pumpkin bagels since it's fall season at Trader Joe's and they have all their pumpkin and apple and fall products. So we did have to do that. That was a must. That was number one on the list was Trader Joe's. There are a few other spots in LA that are kind of regular spots that I did want to shout out and kind of briefly rate because these are regular spots we used to go to and we had to hit them up while he was here. It was non-negotiable. First one being obviously Trader Joe's. Second being Millie's Cafe. I think there are 2 locations, one in Pasadena. We used to go to the Silver Lake one. That place is insane. Breakfast is amazing. They have good coffee too, and it's always packed. If you're ever on the east side, I would highly recommend for a brunch spot. So Millie's is up there. Had to hit up the Trading Post, which both of us had a consensus. It was a little different, not as busy, not as many vendors. They reduced the size of it. And so it just felt a little bit different. I think times are hard for everybody. So maybe not as many people are thrifting or those same vendors are not in business anymore. Who knows? But it was definitely a different vibe. We did find some cool stuff there. But regardless, it was very, very different. But it was still cool, still the vibe, still a fun Sunday afternoon thing to do in LA if you've never done it. Blue Bottle was also a non-negotiable. They have amazing pour over and their oat milk latte is just perfect. Just not too bold. If you're new to coffee or new to lattes and you want a really, a good tasting latte with good mouthfeel that's not too pungent, I would recommend Blue Bottle. So that's the go-to. Nature Well, I think there are multiple locations of that too. It's a smoothie / juice place in Silver Lake as well. Most of these spots are in Silver Lake because we used to frequent that area. Cremo by Donut Friend. Insane ice cream. Donuts are a 10 out of 10. Butcher's Daughter. We did go to both Butcher's Daughters. The one on Abbot Kinney. We went with friends. And then also the one in West Hollywood. Love it, love it, love it. Can't say enough about it. Lucifer's Pizza was another spot. I know there's a lot of good pizza places in LA or just in general everywhere. But we used to always go to Lucifer because we used to be both fully vegan. So they have really good vegan pizza options there. Had to hit up the Grove and do some window shopping. Sticky Rice in Echo Park, amazing Thai food next to El Prado, nice wine bar, cute little spot. Did go to the Shortstop. That was all in the same night. Sticky Rice, El Prado, and then, you're not going to be going out in that area of LA out on the town and not eventually end up at Shortstop. That's just the spot to end up. They had a really good DJ the night we went, but maybe just because we hadn't been there in a while, but we're since when do they charge at the door? I don't know if we just haven't been there in so long. We just missed that change and it's been like that. Both of us were what? Since when do they have a cover for the door? But it is what it is. It's a good vibe. A few new spots. We went to the Huntley Hotel Penthouse Bar during sunset. That I know it's a super kind of a cliche spot on the west side, but the view is amazing, especially if there's a nice sunset. They have really good drinks. I had a lychee martini. It was delicious. And then we did stay in a hotel for one weekend and kind of peruse around the east side of LA because I live on the west side. It's just I don't know how many Waymos and Lyfts we're going to take. Let's just like chill in a hotel for a weekend and be close to everything that we want to go to. We stayed at the Kimpton Everly Hotel in Hollywood. I cannot recommend this hotel enough. It was really, really beautiful. First of all, I found it through my like Capital One travel portal. It's like one of their like specialty edition, like hotel bookings, like their premier bookings. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot. I loved it. Yeah, I would recommend if you need a place to stay in Hollywood and you need a hotel. A little pricey, but it's beautiful and it's worth the money in my opinion, because they have a ton of perks for just like basic stay, which is cool. Yeah, we were outside. We had an amazing time overall. For those of you that are in or have been in a long distance relationship, you know that like time together is so sacred, and it's just an amazing reset on the relationship, because being apart, no matter how much you talk on the phone or FaceTime or text or whatever, it's really hard. So it was amazing. A fantastic reset. And so I'm like high on life, as y'all can tell. Literally, my man is so cute. The day I took him to LAX, I like had to go to physical therapy, and I came back and he had like a like a gift wrapped for me. And I was like, what is this? Because when he came, I had a gift wrapped for him. And he used the same like bag because I still had it just sitting in my room after he unwrapped it. And he got me, I'm going to post a picture here, the cutest little mug. For those of you that don't know, I'm like obsessed with frogs. So he got me this cute little mug with a little frog. And it was just so cute. It was like a fairy tale moment. I don't know if anybody else has those moments or memories within the relationship. I was just texting him about it yesterday. Like those moments where you're like, you could just never forget the feeling and like the joy and the happiness and the love that you feel. I call them like fairy tale moments because they don't feel real. Or those are like the best moments of life that are really real, that make you feel like, you know, like super in the moment and just like ethereal, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was one of those moments that was super cute, and made me just feel like a princess. And I know it's like such a small thing, but those little joys in life are things that keep me going. So I hope that you all have your own little fairy tale moments, like little things like that aren't even like, you know, it's not like an expensive gift. It's like a cute little thing that's personal. When someone gets you something like that that's personal, it's like, it means more than an expensive gift. Obviously, it's like, oh my God, like, first of all, you got something that you know that I would like. That's so cute. Not something you would like or that you liked. You got it and you picked it out because you knew I would like it. And I think that's like, the cutest thing ever. I'm so smitten. Anyway, so as you can probably tell, I'm high on life after this last month. I have so many topics for today's pod because I've literally been banking topics for the last month. So obviously, it's October. Happy October, everybody. I've always been a huge fan of Halloween. So I decided for the month of October, I'm going to watch a horror/thriller every single day for the month of October and review them on the pod. So I'm just going to jump straight into this segment. I also would like to get recommendations for films. I'm doing films only. I mean, I'm going to be watching like TV shows, like intermittently. Like I'm trying to watch ones I've never seen before. Obviously, I have seen a lot. So just submit stuff, you know, shot in the dark. If I've seen it, whatever. If I haven't seen it, thank you so much for the rec in advance. I'm just going to start off strong. The first movie I watched on October 1st was Slender Man. I don't know if it's just because the horror movies now like hit different and they're like jump scare central, and that like really gets to me and I'm just like desensitized. But like the old horror movies just don't hit the same. I think that's gonna be like an overarching theme in my reviews, is that the older ones are just like not really it to me. I gave Slender Man a 2 out of 10. It was kind of underwhelming, and I don't really have much else to say about it. If you're like super into it, that's cool, but to me it like didn't really give anything. It didn't give spooky, you feel me? So that is what it is. On October 2nd, I watched White Noise, which is an older one. This one, you know, plot-wise, concept-wise, was a little bit more intriguing. I'm trying not to spoil any of these. I'm literally just going to give like blanket ratings and kind of like my opinions, but I don't want to spoil these because some of these, like maybe half of these, I'm going to suggest that you watch. But yeah, White Noise was pretty good. I freaking love Michael Keaton. I can't see him as anything but Beetlejuice. So the whole time I was just like, oh, Beetlejuice. Like, but it was good. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It was kind of long. I feel like it was like dragging out in some moments, but it was good. And like conceptually, I thought it was an interesting, idea. I just don't know those like scary moments. Like I said, the older movies, it's just kind of corny because the special effects are not as like, realistic. So I'm not as convinced to be actually scared. So I thought it was good. It was a good concept, but like, yeah, it didn't really do the trick for me. But, 6 out of 10, feel like it's a pretty good rating. Okay. Day 3. October 3rd is where we're getting somewhere. Okay. I watched There's Something Wrong with the Children. This movie got a 9 out of 10. Okay. I love the cast, first of all. I forget the actors, but everyone was amazing. The kids were creepy. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say shit. Obviously, by the title, you could tell something's up with them kids. But literally, this had me like a little bit spooked. Like I was like, I need the light on and like I need like a blanket for protection. I need a little blankie. So yeah, I really liked this. Of all the movies so far, that would be like my first recommendation. Watch that. There's Something Wrong with the Children. If you have not already watched it, watch it. It's really, really good. Okay. On the 4th, I watched 28 Days Later with Cillian, my man Cillian Murphy, my Irish brother. Anyway, this was really good. It's another one of the old ones, and it's more like zombie-esque. So I feel like that doesn't necessarily fit completely into the horror category, but like, I guess it kind of does. Although I feel like those categories are like differentiated in my brain, if that makes sense. I feel like zombie movies to me don't equal horror. Unless there's like a lot of jump scares and I'm like afraid of the zombies. But in this case, it was kind of like, there wasn't a lot of that. Regardless, I did really like this movie. The acting was impeccable. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I just love Cillian Murphy so much. I feel like the ending was like kind of unsatisfying, but it is what it is. It was also another long movie that kind of dragged, but it was good. All in all, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it. So go watch it. And apparently this was made in like 2002. And then there was another one in 2007 or something that's 28 weeks later. And then this year, apparently they're coming out with 28 years later. So I think I'm going to have to watch all 3. So maybe this week I'll watch 28 weeks later and I will let you know my rating for that. I don't know if it's the same cast or if it's related completely with the same characters or not. I don't know. I will let you know. I'll keep you updated on that. Okay. On the 5th, I watched Dreamcatcher, which is another old one. I like cabin movies, maybe just because of like some of the newer modern like cabin in the woods like style horror movies like really freak me out. Genuinely, they like scare me. And so this I had a lot of like good hopes for because it was in the woods. It was like winter. It was kind of like spooky, woodsy vibes. Okay. But it was okay. I don't want to like say what it was like related to because that will kind of give away things like theme wise. But it was okay. I liked it. Again, it's like one of those older movies that I'm desensitized to like horror stuff now. So like, it's old school. Some of it didn't really like get to me in the same way, but I did like it overall. I gave it a 5 out of 10 because I like couldn't decide where I like sat with it. I was like, I like this, but it's like not something that I don't know if I would recommend it maybe, but I probably wouldn't like watch it again ever, if that makes sense. Or I wouldn't be like itching to show it to someone else. So kind of right in the middle. On the 6th, I watched There's Someone Inside Your House. This was a newer one. Kind of just the stereotypical like new modern horror. There was enough suspense that it like had me interested, but I don't know. It was kind of predictable, and predictable movies like kind of irk me and like irritate me, and I feel like it's a waste of my time if I can like guess what's about to happen. That like kind of pisses me off. So this was one of those movies. I give it a 4 out of 10 because there were some good jump scare moments. I was a little bit scared here and there, but all in all, it was just kind of like meh. The ending, there's like a murder aspect to this. Obviously, by the description, even just reading like the description of the film, you would know that. And I will say, I feel like the murderer was a predictable outcome, like finding out who it was, because it was kind of a mystery. And yeah, I just kind of like assumed most of the movie. I assumed that it was going to be who it was. So that also was like, I don't know. I was like, couldn't they have just like thrown us off and given us something like totally left field, unexpected? So I was a little unsatisfied that the murderer was like predictable, but is what it is. 4 out of 10. Last night was the 7th. And so far, this movie of all of them is my favorite. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, I could give it a 10 out of 10. I just didn't like the ending. It didn't necessarily like quench my thirst. The movie is called Saint Maud. It tinkers around with themes of like mental health and religious psychosis and like kind of hyper religion, and it's really, really, really well done. There were some twists that were kind of cool. I was definitely on my toes the entire time watching the film in anticipation of like, you know, the beefy stuff to happen. And when the beefy stuff happened, it was like fairly satisfying. I think there were some moments that were like slightly anticlimactic. That's why I'm not giving it a full 10. But there were some moments that were like, wait, what? Like what? You know, that like threw me off for sure. So I did really enjoy it. But the ending to me was kind of like, just like, okay, the movie's over. Like it just like was like, oh, okay, that's it. So I give it a 9.5. I'm going to be continuing on, like I said, every single day watching a new horror. So let me know if you have any recs. I've seen a lot of like the really intense, like newer classics. So I'm not going to be reviewing any of those because I'm just trying to watch ones I haven't seen. But let me know regardless in the comments if you have a rec. I did also watch, this was like prior to my hiatus, but I did want to give like a review since I finished it. My mom is like a huge Stephen King buff, and so we watched I don't think it's going to be a limited series. I think it's going to be like a full series. I don't know if they've been renewed for season 2 or not yet. I kind of hope so. After watching the first season, it's called The Institute. I think it was on MGM Plus or some like random streaming service like that, but it was really good. The concept of it is really cool. I'm going to try not to like spoil it completely, but it's like kids that have powers, like supernatural or like, you know, otherworldly powers. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's an amazing like reveal and twist. There are some aspects to it that are like slightly predictable, but all in all, the satisfaction at the end of season 1 was very, very like, oh, this show, like it made me really want to watch another season, like right in that moment. Like I wish season 2 was already out so I could binge both in a row, if that makes sense. So I think I would give the show like a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. The acting's great. The cast is good. So The Institute, if you're looking for like, it's more sci-fi related. If you're looking for like a sci-fi drama series to watch, I would recommend that. In general, I'm realizing that I am super into sci-fi, like more so than I ever thought. So I might, once the month of October is over, just dive into a month-long sci-fi basically marathon of like watching all the classic sci-fi. Some of the old ones I like haven't seen a lot of classic ones. So also leave recs for that if you have any. Okay, on to the next like segment. I have some music reviews. I listened to 2 albums. I've been listening to like a lot of random music, but I haven't listened to a lot of like new albums recently. I have a lot of catch up to do. Okay, so I did listen to Gunna's new album, The Last One. And with my album reviews, y'all, I'm going to try this new system. I am going to give a rating as like a percentage based on how many songs out of the album that I actually like saved and added to my library. So this album had 25 songs. I only saved 6. Okay. So it's getting a 24% rating. Those songs I do really like, but just like all in all, the album is like, I feel like a lot of the same shit. But I did save 6 songs off of it. So I don't know, mostly to my like workout playlist, if I'm being honest. So not like it's anything of substance that I'm going to be like listening to. But it's going to be in that workout playlist rotation, hip hop playlist rotation for that same vibe. So enjoyed it, but yeah, 24%. I did listen to Larry June's new album, Life is Beautiful, which I had really high hopes for. I'm super into Larry June. I got into him like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and his music has a little more substance to it, just like different. It's not just like mumble rap or like hip hop. For hip hop's sake, it has a little bit more heart and soul in it, if that makes sense. And so I'm really a huge fan of him. This album didn't really do it for me as much. I saved like 3 tracks out of 13, so that got 23%. But I know this rating system might be kind of harsh, but it is what it is. I'm trying to kind of do analysis and prep for me to like work on an album in the next year or so. I'm trying to analyze successful albums, or like albums to me that have like no skips and that I save a lot of. So I'm trying to kind of rate in my brain in that way, so I can kind of do an analysis on like, okay, if I didn't save that many, like why? And if I did save like most of the songs from the album, why? What did they do well? So that's part of the reason, justification by why I'm rating the album as a whole. Okay, short segment here before I go into the last segment of the pod. I have some good friends from college that got a Bengal this year, like a Bengal kitten, and his name's Appa. I do want to give him a little shout out, and I think you guys should go follow him on IG. For whatever reason, it literally took me months to meet this cat. I don't know, we've just been busy. Life just has been lifing, and we haven't been able to like hang out. I haven't been able to like head over to her place. So anyway, I finally met Appa. I want to post like little pictures here too. He's so freaking cute. Bengals are like a whole other level of cat, y'all. I've always been a cat person, but like that cat, you can just tell is like part wild. Like, you know what I mean? If that makes any sense, like versus my domesticated cat, the energy level, I mean, my cat's old, so we'll give her that. But like this cat is just on another freaking level. It's crazy. And I have one student who has a Bengal, and she was like saying this other week, she was sad because her hamster died. And so I was like, oh, why don't you cuddle with your cat? Like get some comfort from a pet that you still have, to help you feel better. And she was like, my cat doesn't really like to cuddle. And I'm like, oh my God, that must suck that your cat doesn't like to cuddle. And maybe that's not all like Bengals. But like my friend that got one was like, yeah, it's like here and there, but it's not like a ton of cuddling. I guess like over time it probably like progresses as the cat gets more like comfortable with you. But dude, Bengals are so freaking pretty. But yeah, their energy level is just off the charts. You can just tell that they have more like of a wild side to them. And I see why there is such an appeal with people getting them, because they're really, really cool. So shout out to Appa. Please go follow him on IG. Go follow him. Make him a little like IG famous cat. Okay, last segment on the pod is going to be giving first world problems. I'm just going to give a little disclaimer right now, a little warning. This is going to be a segment about Apple CarPlay and iOS 26 and the new update. So I am just going to sound super privileged for the next, I don't know how many minutes. So bear with me, because I genuinely have some gripes, and I genuinely have, some things that I'm very happy about. So I'm just going to rant about this briefly. Okay. So I have an iPhone 12 Pro. Okay. I actually love my iPhone 12 Pro. Even though it's an older model, I love it because I'm going to say it right now with my chest. I do not like that the iPhones are getting larger. To me, when I got this, I think I had like a 7 before this. When I got this, I was like, I feel like I'm holding an iPad. Genuinely, this thing is too big. And when I'm on my phone, like I can't reach beyond like 3/4 of the way up with my thumb. It's like my thumb span is not that freaking large. So like it does like irritate me that like if I want to touch something in like the top corner of my phone with one hand, I have to like completely move my whole hand and do it and then readjust. Okay. So that is already a gripe that I've had with this phone for years that bugs me. Everyone's like obsessed with, oh my gosh, it's like so big so I can like watch stuff on it. Da 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 da. Like, got it. I understand that. But like, essentially, this phone is already too big for me. Like, I already am annoyed with the size of this phone because it genuinely sometimes feels like I'm holding an iPad. Like, in my brain, the two are the same. Okay. So I don't want to get a new phone because most of the new phones, other than like the SE, if they're even still making like an SE model, all the new phones are massive and they're going to feel even more like an iPad. Like, this is giving iPad mini to me. I'm going to hold a new iPhone and I'm going to feel like I'm holding like a whiteboard in my hand. Okay. It's going to feel insane and I'm not going to like it. I already have a freaking dent in my pinky from this. Okay. So I don't know if I just need to get like a pop socket, if they still have those, one of those things, or what. Okay. End of that rant. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because I saw the iOS 26. I saw like people posting it online and I was like, oh my God, that looks beautiful. For ages, I've been wanting to customize the color of my apps and the color of like my phone and my computer to like uniform color. Okay. I've been wanting that, itching for that forever. Okay. So then I saw the update and I was like, I need that. Okay. So not only did I have to undownload a bunch of music in my Apple Music library in order to have enough room to download this iOS. Okay. So I did that, which is fine. No big deal. I did have a lot of music downloaded, I will admit. But yeah, so I did the update. She's looking real cute. I have all of my apps customized. Let me show you real quick. I have all my apps customized blue. She's so cute. It's giving ocean. Okay. So I love it. Aesthetically, I'm loving it. It also updated CarPlay, which is like a huge, huge, huge plus for me. I've been sick of CarPlay and like the way that it's looked for like a long time. Maps is updated in CarPlay. It looks way better. The view, like while you're actually driving, if you just have it in the default view, is like way more similar to the Google Maps view, which I like. It's like more zoomed out kind of, and you're behind your icon instead of like kind of with it. So I love that. Okay. And I love just like the new layout of the CarPlay. So 10 out of 10. Okay. Aesthetically, I love the way that it looks on the phone, on CarPlay, and on my computer, because I also did the Mac OS update. Okay. I also love, because I be FaceTiming a lot. And sometimes like me and my man FaceTime like while I'm driving or whatever. And previously in CarPlay, if you were on FaceTime and then you got into your car and your phone connected to CarPlay, your video would turn off on FaceTime. So just like basically switch to like just audio, which really pissed me off. And every time that happened, I would have to switch from CarPlay to Bluetooth, so that I wouldn't be able to use CarPlay while I was like FaceTiming. It's not like I'm like staring at my phone while I'm driving. It's just like there so that the other person can see me. You know what I mean? And the new update with CarPlay, it doesn't turn off anymore. So like that, I was really, really happy about. I like got into my car after updating my phone and everything, and I was on FaceTime and the camera didn't turn off and CarPlay still worked out. I was like, period, thank you. So, okay, happy with all that. But one huge but, which I know is probably everyone and their mom's gripe with Apple, is that whenever there's like a big update or a big change like this, and you use an old model phone, okay, shit starts to slow down, okay? Shit really starts to slow down. And when I say that, I mean it, okay? This phone, since I got it, you know, you have like maybe 2-3 apps open and it starts to overheat. Okay. So that's just like been a chronic issue. Maybe I should have gone to Apple sooner. I've had this phone for like almost 4 years now. Maybe I should have gone to Apple sooner and like figured out why it's doing that. Or maybe I'm just like have too many apps and widgets and things running in the background. I don't know. I have done that since I did the update. I've like kind of cleared a background app refresh. I've cleared like a bunch of widgets and a bunch of things that were just like running in the background. Okay. Because I thought that that was the issue. But that's not the issue, y'all. That's not the issue. Using just maps. Only maps. Music off. Every single other app closed. In the car, driving with CarPlay on, only using maps. My phone overheats. Not plugged in. In a cold car with AC. In front of the AC vent, okay? I'm not even exaggerating. It literally, this is This is why I said this is going to give first world problems. When you spend like $1,000+ on a phone, bro, you get it. Okay. So that shit pisses me off. And then now I'm realizing that like, not even with like maps running, because I get like maps in general can like use a lot CPU or whatever the fuck it's called on a phone. I get that. Okay. But like, even if I'm just using like a few apps, like Instagram and notes and voice notes. And I mean, you know what I mean? If I have a few apps open, it's just like my whole freaking phone just glitches and it gets really slow and it doesn't like the response time is not as fast. So I'm really fucking irritated now because I'm realizing that these fuckers do it every fucking time because obviously the old hardware isn't going to be able to like keep up with the new software. So now I'm crashing out because I'm like, do I need a new fucking phone? And I'm trying to resist. I'm trying to resist the capitalism, you guys. I'm trying to resist. But functionally, this phone is gonna, it's gonna send me over the edge, you guys. I mean, I use this a lot for work. I use it a lot for the pod, for my artist shit. I use it a lot in my career. I need it to function. I need it to not be doing what it's doing right now. So all in all, I do need Rex. I'm going to try to resist for as long as possible. I don't want to downgrade to the previous software. Don't want to do that. So I'm going to resist for as long as humanly possible. But if there are Black Friday deals at Best Buy, I might just get a new phone. So I want people's honest recs on like 15, 16, 17. I know the 17 is getting like a lot of hot water right now because it's like you can just like scratch it with your nail and it like the color comes off basically. So I don't know that I want to do that. I will always keep a case on my phone, so maybe I wouldn't like have an issue with that. But I want people's honest recs with the newest phone or with like previous models, what your thoughts are, which one you'd recommend if you've like had multiple. You know, the appeal of like the enhanced camera is also great on the 17, but I also just feel like it's so big. It's so big. So I don't know what to do. I want like the smallest iPhone humanly possible that is able to keep up with the current software, basically. So let me know what you'll think if you have Rex before I crash out. And let me know. Yeah. So that is going to wrap it up for today's episode before I crash out even more. I will keep y'all updated on my Halloween horror movie extravaganza. I will be back next week's episode with 7 new ratings. And yeah, let me know if you have recs for horror movies. Let me know if you have recs for albums, new music, anything like that. And then I will review it on the pod. Let me know. I still don't know what to be for Halloween. So if you have like Halloween suggestions, please let me know. I have a wig, like a black bob wig that's giving Velma Kelly. It's also giving Buttercup. So I'm trying to figure that out. I might do Buttercup at work and then Velma Kelly after work because I work with children. But let me know if you have recs, okay, for Halloween costumes with a black bob. Please, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to do out here, y'all. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up today's episode. I hope that you have a wonderful week and a fun weekend. Stay safe, and I will see you next week. Bye.